Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast, or EPEEP for short. My name is Wrestling Chris G, and on the other line with me is my great old co-host. He is the one that's trying to continue his adventure, but is kind of unsure about his following. It's Dougie Fresh. Dougie, man, how you doing?
Oh, so no cracks about it's not just me this week and all that stuff.
Nah, I'm in a very good mood this week.
I
I got
see.
I got dinner waiting for me upstairs, so as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go and eat that and put myself into a food coma.
Which is probably not healthy, but that's not the podcast for it.
uh, well, I'll be up for a while.
I mean, we've had this discussion.
Yes, but I have no work tomorrow. I can do this and pay for it in the morning if I have to.
Don't come crying to me. Shit starts going south.
Literally.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
so
realized that about halfway through. I'm like, I'm going to finish it.
so this week's episode is called Hunter versus Kadabra, Part 3, or translated from Japanese, Ghost versus Esper. So this episode aired September 9th, 1997 in Japan, and here in the States, October 8th of 1998. And of course, as we do every single week, we go back in history on the U.S. date. And surprisingly, I'm going first this week. So
Yeah,
this week,
and you earned it.
yes, I did.
And
I,
you could have gone first last week too, but you
but
can't read dates.
I can't read.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Um, so South Park reference, everybody. On this date in 1996, our good friend, actually, he is a friend of our wrestling podcast, good old Howard Stern, made a book called Miss America, which was released in paperback on this date and was one of the fastest grossing books of that year. So actually, it was the fastest grossing book that year. So there you go.
And you had said you read it.
Yes, I did. I read that book. It was a very, very, very good book. And if you, you know what? I don't think he did an Audible for it because I read the actual book itself like years later. This was probably like 2012, 2013.
Right.
But, so this was years after the book had already been gathered all its money and all that. But yeah, it's a really good book. I don't want to give any spoilers on it. I'll just say he hasn't put out a bad book or a bad movie. I really enjoy his movie as well.
Yeah, the movie's pretty good.
Oh, you saw it too?
I mean, it's been a minute, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, I think I probably caught it on cable or something.
Gotcha. Well, I'm pretty sure Comedy Central played that movie to death.
No, but I'm talking like it was like HBO or Cinemax or something.
Oh, okay. And the movie we're talking about is called Private Parts.
Yeah.
So that's mine this week. And what about you, Doug?
So this week I'm gonna kind of continue the football record-breaking kind of little duo I had because last week I talked about Walter Payton becoming the all-time leading rusher, and this week I want to talk about Drew Brees becoming the all-time leader in passing yards.
Ah.
And to do that, I have to go all the way back to October 8th, 2018, when on a Monday Night Football game, um, Drew Brees connected on a 62-yard touchdown to break Peyton Manning's record for passing yardage And I remember this because it was one of those things where it's like, okay, he only needs, he needs this many yards, and you know, every completion. Obviously, it's Monday night, so I'm watching wrestling, but I'm aware that the Saints are on Monday, and I'm aware that he's probably going to hit it unless he has a crap game. Um, so you're kind of checking on commercials, you're looking up the stats, and to hit it on a big touchdown, obviously the game stops because the crowd's going crazy back. You remember crowds? Crowds were cool.
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea what a freaking crowd is anymore.
And
COVID.
it was a big moment, and it was at home, which was cool. And he's still active, today, and he's still putting up big numbers in New Orleans. He's reportedly got a deal. When he wants to retire, he can walk right into either the Monday Night Football booth or CBS. I can't remember what the report was floating around during the offseason when they weren't sure if he was going to re-sign. So he's pretty well set. But yeah, I just thought it was funny that on 2 consecutive days we had 2 consecutive records being broken. I mean, obviously on different years, but I just thought that was kind of cool.
That
So
is. So
that's
I
what
mean, back to back.
so that's what I went with. I was honestly anticipating more baseball. I mean, we've gotten a few, and there's still a few to come, obviously, but to get 2 back-to-back football in early October, I think is pretty cool.
So, all right. So this might be one of our shorter episodes. We kind of breezed through our historic, um, like pretty quick this week. So I will go ahead and let's see. Let me go
Well,
ahead.
I could I think we could chalk that up to, and we've mentioned on previous recordings that we do, whenever possible, we try to do 2 at a shot.
Yes, this week we are again doing this episode on October 27th and of 2020, and you heard last week that we were doing it on October 27th. So this is the second parter.
So with this being our second episode, we're pretty well warmed up. We're pretty we did have a few technical snafus early in the first episode. We're relatively confident we got them figured out. So yeah, I think you can chalk that up to just kind of us being rolling.
Yeah. So I don't know. Should we do the who's that Pokemon early this week?
I mean, yeah, because it just kind of came up naturally last week, but you're thinking about it now. So yeah, I'm
All right. So this week, I'm actually I like this game. Well, just these last few weeks. So Doug, who do you think the who's that Pokemon is this
well,
week?
as I said last week, the going thought was I wasn't going to get it, and I got it. And it was a 50-50 shot last week. It was one of those last week, so I'm just going to take a swing.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this real quick. Do you think it's a gym Pokemon or do you think that it's a ghost Pokemon?
Poop on a stick.
Because remember, this is the gym battle this week.
Okay, so they pulled some bullshit, didn't they?
No, I'm asking you. I'm just making you think. I'm just being a dick.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna say it was Hunter.
Okay. Yes. Yes, it
Okay,
was.
I was because the way you said that, I was like having freaking horsey flashbacks.
Pulling some bullshit over your eyes. You were so mad that episode.
Like, oh, it's tentacle. No, it was horsey. Like bullshit, it was horsey.
Horsey was in the episode for 5 minutes. The whole episode's about Tentacruel.
Tentacles wrecking buildings. He can't even get a who's that Pokemon.
So, all right. So
So this episode we do get a recap.
yes, we actually get a recap of both part one and part two. We get Kadabra going ham on Pikachu, and we get a whole recap of the Pokemon Tower with Hunter coming back to follow the game.
So we are back on the outskirts of Saffron City, and
No. We're back on the outskirts of Lavender Town.
no, he's overlooking Saffron City.
Oh, he is overlooking Saffron. My bad. My bad.
So Ash is sitting there. He's ready to go. He turns around. He sees Brock is about
A whole
10.
yard.
He's way back. And he's like, I think I'm allergic to ghosts. I'm like, you chicken shit.
What the hell is, well, we did find out in the last episode that Hunter can take your soul out of your body.
This, that's a fair thought. I hadn't even thought of that until just fair point.
so maybe I don't want to go frolicking with Hunter.
But I don't think he could just willy-nilly just grab him. I think he would have had to at least be unconscious. I mean, Ash and Pikachu were under a freaking chandelier.
Well, I don't think your soul picks and chooses. I think your soul's just in the body in Pokemon, and Hunter can just go over and just go pluck and just take it right out.
I'll tell you this much: I don't want to find out.
Neither do I. But at this point, Hunter scares the living crap out of Brock, and Brock goes, "Yeah, I think I'm allergic." And Misty actually does a full 180 this episode because she goes, "How can you be scared of such a cutie?" She thinks Hunter is a cute Pokemon.
Yeah, but she shits her pants about Caterpie.
Yes.
Fucking pick a lane, girl.
I know.
So yeah, she thinks Hunter's cute, and then Hunter gets fucking pervy and fucking licks her.
and
paralyzes her.
Full blow paralyzed because Misty just went down and she was just like, eh.
And Ash goes, "You paralyzed her." And Hunter starts to cry, and then Ash goes, "It's not that big of a deal."
I was dying. I was like, how is that not a big deal? Do you have any antidote?
She'll be fine. Fucking walk it off, So they go. We basically cut right to.
Wait, hold on. You're about to jump. So at this point, Ash has to elaborate to Hunter that Sabrina has psychic type Pokemon, and the only way that he can defeat the psychic type Pokemon is with a ghost Pokemon. And he asks Hunter if Hunter will go down and help him, and Hunter just gives him a big old laugh. I don't think Hunter really agreed, but he gives him a big old laughter, and they continue their adventure. And next we cut to it's daytime because it was just nighttime. It's daytime and they're back in town now.
Yeah, and we have a momentary flashback of Pikachu getting
shocked,
getting ping ponged, really, and
by Kadabra. And it's at this point they're getting ready to walk inside, but then Ash turns around and Misty and Brock are and Pikachu.
I was gonna say, don't let Pikachu skate away.
They're out there with signs going, "Go Ash, go, good luck." And Misty has two pictures of Ash on a flag, and they're saying, "Good luck, Ash." And Ash is like, "Wait a minute, you guys are telling me you're not going in with me?" And they're like, "Yeah, well, the last time we were in there, we're about to get used as bowling pins."
And then Brock has to go wreck it and go, "Yeah, she almost got a strike." I was like, "Fuck."
So, yeah.
And Ash is like, "Well, I'm not worried. We got Hunter. We'll be fine." And they're kind of like, "Well, we don't know, but we're not exactly going to stick around here to find out."
Yeah, maybe Hunter is controlling you, Brock says. And I actually got a thought in my mind. What if he was controlling Ash for a second?
That would have made for a better episode. I mean, I like this episode, but that would have made for a cool episode.
Yeah, would have.
So then Ash freaking hauls out Charmander,
Charmander.
Bulbasaur, and Squirtle and says, "Are we ready to go headlong into this battle?" And I'm sitting there out loud. I say, "What about Pidgeotto?"
Well, Pidgeotto can't really attack a psychic Pokemon.
Well, but he could be morale.
True,
Everybody
but
else got to come out.
P- Pidgeotto has seniority. Pidgeotto's the only evolved Pokemon. He's like, yeah, I'm staying in this ball.
Fuck that. Fresh air. Team
So,
team unity. Rah rah Ash, all that bullshit. Anyway,
so So we go back into the gym. Ash barges in and he all dick swinging and everything and goes, I challenge you to a battle because this time I have a ghost Pokemon. And they go, Ghost Pokemon? Well, here goes Kadabra. Where's your Pokemon? And Ash is looking around and he's like, Where's Hunter? Hunter, Hunter, where are you? And they're just, we're waiting. That's what the two Sabrinas are saying. And you want to give this next part, Doug?
yeah, I mean, basically, Ash is having a full blown panic attack, and he goes, on second thought, I quit. And he bolts.
He bolts out of there. And at this point, she Sabrina tries to capture him, but then we see this old man teleport in and teleport Ash out and goes, sometimes you just have to surrender, and then just zaps him out. And then Sabrina then goes, he's back.
And then I would
So
like to backtrack just a second, just for the sake of poor Misty and Brock, who were unfortunately not lucky enough to get behind the dude, and they got turned into dolls.
yes, they are now Sabrina's new play toys. So
So then
yay.
we cut back, or we cut to a park bench rather, and we see the group fall. Pikachu lands on top of the pyramid. Um, Ash is under that, but then under or freaking dude is under everybody.
Yeah, it's Pikachu, Ash, Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and then this old man. So I feel bad for this dude right now.
So yeah, well, definitely. Um, so then they're sitting on a park bench, and they say, life is life. No, they don't say that. And you
they
know,
the old man goes into this big spiel about Sabrina. He's like, ever since Sabrina was a child, she's been obsessed with her powers. And
but
as
she
she
wasn't
grew,
always this bad.
yeah, she used to be a fun, loving child, but once she got indulged in her psychic abilities, she isolated herself. She didn't want to be around anybody. And it got to the point where she destroyed her house and she drove people away. And then he also goes in to say the little girl that's sitting on her lap, which we called little Sabrina in part one, is indeed a little Sabrina. She made an imaginary version of herself as a child, which still holds the fun her.
Yeah, the doll apparently represents her true self.
Yes.
And, laying it all out there, and then Ash has probably the line of the episode, because it's all fallen into place, right? I mean, it was pretty obvious from jump when he was talking about Sabrina as a child, but I mean, Ash is a little slow, but he's finally catching on. He goes, "Well, Sabrina had this same photo in her dollhouse, and if you
He's
have
like,
the same photo," he
that
goes, "that
must mean, and then the old man is like, does he know? Has he
shit, he
figured
figured
it
me out."
out? He did
He
he
goes,
did he did he figure it out? Did he figure out that I am Sabrina's father?
Ash goes, "You're a photographer."
And this guy is just dumbfounded.
The guy goes, "Ah," and he falls off the bench. And he goes, "Are you that stupid? Have you not figured out?" And Ash goes, "Figured out what?" He goes, "Never mind. It's not that. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it."
So it's at this point that we go to the commercial break in this episode.
Was this the Who's That Pokemon?
Yes. So this was the Who's That Pokemon part. It's always around the 9 minute, 10 minute mark in each
Yeah.
episode. But it's at this point when we come back from commercial break, Ash is going around Saffron City and he's trying to find Hunter.
Yes.
And he can't find Hunter worth a shit. But we cut straight from there to Team Rocket on a basically scaffolding a building, pretending to be window cleaners.
Yes.
You wanna go over this part, Doug?
And they get about, I mean, they get, they do, to protect the world from devastation, to unite all peoples with their nature. And they do Jesse and James, and at this point, Meowth pops up and goes, all right, we don't have time for this shit. There's only 12 and a half minutes left in the episode. It's actually about 10 because we got to do we're doing 30 for the Poke Rap this week.
The Poke Rap actually takes up a whole minute.
I'm saying. So, because obviously Team Rocket's on the whole, we're going to find Pikachu. And
let's not, I'm just gonna point this out because they drew it this way, and this is the only time that they've actually drawn Jesse like this. But if you can, Doug, pause the screen when Jessie has her hands like she's praying, and James looks like he's getting ready to throw down the net, and Meowth is looking up at James.
Okay.
They gave Jessie a big ol' ass in this scene.
Well, animators got to have fun too,
But it's just like Jessie's ass is never that big in a Pokemon episode.
Damn.
You see what I'm looking at, right?
Well, it's not so much that it's a big old ass. It's just she's never in that leaning over pose.
So
animators be pervy.
Yeah, they were having fun with this scene. But so that's a screen grab if any of you out there want to go ahead and take a look at. But it's I just thought it was pretty funny. But then we get the reintroduction of Hunter scaring the shit out of Team Rocket again.
Yes. So James has this net and he's about to wing it down. And is he gonna wing it down like 7 stories and just hope it lands on people? Because from the screen, from the shot where they fall out of this cherry picker, or off of the scaffolding or whatever, they're like up there.
Yeah, they're like 7, 8 stories high because when they fall, and we'll get into the fall in a second, they implant that cement.
Yeah.
How are they not dead?
They're dead, and I think it's at that point where somebody says something about being dead.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, so that's not a rule. That's just something you didn't do last episode.
Correct.
But anyway.
So
the way they fell out of the box, it was Jessie's hanging on by her fingertips, James is hanging on to her legs, and then Meowth is hanging on to him.
Yes. And they're just hanging there, and Jessie needs to be able to get the muscle to pull them back up into the scaffolding, but Hunter comes down to make Jessie laugh and does all these funny faces, and it's at this point that Meowth.
It's there. Okay, so they let go because freaking Jessie holds out as long as she can,
Yes.
But then Hunter pulls one last funny face, and Jessie just loses it. So they fall. Jessie's pissing herself, basically. She's laughing so hard. James says, well, I don't know what the hell's so funny. And this is where Meowth says, well, she's just going to laugh herself to death.
Yes.
So not mentioning, like I say, that wasn't just a rule that you had to abide by. That's just something they didn't do when Ash got his soul pulled from his body last episode.
Yes.
Swell.
So they crash into the cement ground and go through the cement, and they go about 8 feet deep in this hole. And right behind Ash and Pikachu at this point. So they would have been very off if they were to try throwing that net Just
Yeah,
saying.
I wouldn't have even hit. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even catch.
So at this point, Ash turns around and looks into the hole and goes, "Oh, it's Team Rocket." And Hunter appears and he's like, "Oh, you saved you saved us from having Team Rocket try to capture Pikachu. Thank you."
And Hunter's
And
all happy, and then he says, "Well, where the hell were you 5 minutes ago?" And
and he goes, "Well, I need you to go back so we can get my friends and so I can get this badge." And Hunter is scratching his head like, "I don't know. I don't really battle. And I don't know if I want to help you, but." And then he just starts laughing. And again, he's laughing. He's not agreeing. And Ash kind of takes this laughter as, "Okay, so you're going to come help me."
he's like, "Fine, help me, and I'll tell you, you'll never have to deal with me again." And then, we leave them, and then we head up into the toy box, and we see Brock and Misty are sitting on a couch. They can
Having a
still
conversation.
communicate with each other,
Yes. They they
and
they can talk telepathically.
this is so dumb because Misty goes, "What do you think's going to happen to us, Brock?" And Brock goes, "I don't know. I don't even like dolls." Fuck.
And then we get a voice that goes, don't get mad at Sabrina. She's just a little girl, or she doesn't really, or she's not in her right state of mind." And we find out that there's a third doll in this room, and it's Sabrina's
It's
mother.
her mother.
And then Missy's like, "She did this to her own mother?"
And
And
then that's when we see the roof of the house getting taken off, and little Sabrina goes, "Oh boy, I can't wait to play with my new Brock and Misty dolls."
and what game should I play with my new dollies?
And
And
then
And Misty's like, "You got to change us back." And she's like, "Well, if I change you back, you'll just run. And I won't
Misty
have
goes,
anybody to play with anymore."
Misty goes, "I challenge you to a battle." I said, "You ain't in any position to challenge anybody to nothing."
So it's at this point now. She takes out Misty and Brock and puts them on the red chair that Sabrina was first originally sitting in. And Ash comes barging in the room and is like, "I'm back and I'm ready to battle you."
Mother, like he owns the place.
I
Like,
know.
is there no guards? Is there nothing?
But this time he has Hunter with him. So Hunter is there for a split second, and they're like, "Okay, well, this time you won't leave and you won't escape if you lose." So out comes Kadabra. Ash goes, "All right, Hunter, go on in there." And Hunter is nowhere to be seen again. I felt for Ash in this. This would have pissed me off and scared the shit out of me. You should have taken Gengar.
I mean, he brought this on himself. He never got one agreement that he was going to take on this battle. He just said, "I'll go." He didn't even say nothing. He just laughed and shook his head a couple times. That's all he did.
And Ash finally accepts his defeat and is like, "Well, shit,
Yeah, I'm
I'm
going to
I,
be turned into a doll.
I'm gonna be turned into a freaking doll." And oh gosh, fine. So he sits on the ground, and Pikachu walks in front of him and is like, I'll battle her. Fuck
And then,
Hunter. I'll battle. You're not gonna get turned into a doll on my watch."
and then Ash goes, total faith in his Pokemon, goes, "You have no chance."
True, he did say that, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he calls Pikachu his pal again. And it's at this point they start battling. And Pikachu goes to Thundershock and tries to Thundershock Kadabra. And Kadabra's just teleporting all over the place.
Yeah, just got all the speed in the world. And,
Kadabra
you
then
know,
uses confusion.
and, knocks poor Pikachu back. And
That wasn't even a
it,
strong confusion.
no, it just it took him completely for lunch. Um, and then Pikachu does finally get one good shot in, and you think, "Oh shit, he hit something. he got him. And then fucking Kadabra just
Kadabra,
heals.
yeah, does recover.
Just
And
fine. Just oh
and
hum.
and Ash is like, well, fuck.
It's at that point I would have sat down again.
I would
I
have
was
been
like,
like,
well, what are the rules? What are the rules, really?
did he really just use recover? Like, I can't even attack him. Like, I'm going to hit him and then he's just going to heal himself. But then Hunter comes into the mix and little Sabrina has a conniption. She's like, 2-on-1 is unfair.
And then this is when the dude pops. Well, I mean, we can just call her father at this point because
Yeah.
we know her father pops in and goes,
Hunter is
he's
not battling. He's just here as moral support, and there's nothing against that.
and he's pulling funny faces, eating his eyes and sticking them back out on his tongue. He's got he does a couple other things, and then he gets a bomb.
Yes, he takes a bomb out of his mouth, and the bomb explodes, and it makes Sabrina laugh.
And then
Well,
he says,
smile.
well, yeah, she cracks a smile, and then she does start to laugh, and the guy's sitting over there crying. He goes, I haven't heard that laugh since she was a little girl. And
And
then
Ash is like, "Oh, so you
you
must have
must have
been
taken her baby pictures too.
just a 10-year-old."
And the guy,
Gosh.
and the guy does the anime faint, and he goes, "You must be an idiot."
So, but at this point, Sabrina's laughing, and Sabrina's linked to Kadabra telepathically. So Kadabra's on the floor laughing too, and Kadabra um, is said to not be in a state of battle anymore. So the dad says the winner of this gym battle is Ash.
And I want to know where the hell he got his officiating license.
I want to know that too. But at this point, we go straight from everybody laughing to Ash, Misty, and Brock walking out of the gym, and Ash is holding his marsh badge.
Well, and we should say, just for the sake of it, Sabrina basically breaking into this fit of laughter causes little Sabrina to fade away.
Yes, she's no
And
more. She went back inside of her.
and Misty and Brock are returned back to full size. And then like you said, they're just walking out, just like nothing happened, just average Tuesday.
Ash just
But
saved the
it's nice to
town.
see that the mom's not a doll anymore either.
Yeah. So
And
the family's back
apparently
together.
Hunter is sticking around.
Yes, and Hunter is now Sabrina's new Pokemon. So fuck Ash. He's gonna stay with Sabrina.
And then
I wonder what will happen if Hunter just decides that he wants to go back to the Pokemon Tower and leave Sabrina again. Will she go into a state of depression again, and this will all be a revolving door?
I, I would think that she would be able to look back at the good times where Hunter was able to help her rediscover her true self.
Okay, I
And
guess.
and she might be upset, not upset, but she might be sad. But I would like to think that she could think of the good times.
All right, I guess. I mean, I would hope so,
And
but
then as they're walking over,
we never see her again.
and that's another one where you tell me they never see her again. Quit doing that. If we don't see him again, just don't say anything.
Because I know you're one that you like follow up.
Yeah. So I mean, tell you what. From now on, if we see him again, say something. If we don't, just forget about it.
Okay.
Because I'm sick of being disappointed.
But we do see a big handful of characters again. It's just some of the key ones that we don't have to see anymore. Well, you know what? Maybe they come back in Pokemon Journeys. I don't know.
But then, so as they're walking away, and like you said, Ash is looking at his badge. It's at this point he has a crisis of conscience. you know, the first two times it happened, oh, don't worry about it. Well, I mean, even though I think we've kind of come to the conclusion that he did earn the second one,
Yes.
but we don't talk about the Boulder badge, and obviously he legitimately earned the Thunder badge. He says, "Did I really earn this badge?" And Brock and Misty kind of go, "Of course you did." You know, you
So,
getting you getting Sabrina to laugh and discover who she really is again. How did Misty said something real thick?
she, Misty said, having someone submit to a gym battle with laughter is one of the most creative things that you can do in battle. And Brock goes, "Yeah, if you keep this up, you can be the funniest Pokemon trainer alive."
That's it. And then they go, "Well, where are we going next?" And then Ash goes, "Where? Well, where's the next gym town?" And it's Celadon, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Celadon City is where they're going next.
And as they're running away, happy-go-lucky, happier than a pig in shit, we cut back to that same hole,
Now being repaired.
and Team Rocket is being covered in cement until they apparently get one final burst of energy and bust out of there.
Yes. So it's at this point, um, that's the end of the episode.
Yep, we start the Poke Rap.
So one of these days I'm gonna do the Poke Rap on this show. I'm gonna do it. I know it.
That can be the season one finale.
All right, we can try it. So, but yeah, that's the end of this episode. I'm pretty sure this is probably one of our shortest episodes. But yeah, that's what happened in part three. It was short, sweet, and to the point.
It was a good episode. Ash got a badge. We had some supernatural spookiness. We had some dolls. We had some apparent comedy with
Yes.
Hunter. You know,
So good stuff. And then we're gonna end up coming back next week. And I just closed it out. Son of a bitch. Uh,
what did you close out?
I no, I closed out what next week's episode is. Oh no, well it's
It's
Primate.
Primate Goes Bananas.
Yes, Primate Goes Bananas. So yes, we have that. So we will be getting in touch with our our dude that's gonna be coming on. I don't want to put his name out there yet because if things kind of slip through the cracks, I don't want people hounding him because that's not the kind of show we are. So we will keep everybody up to date as to what's going on there. I'm pretty sure. I think we're recording the movie next week, even though you've already heard the movie, everybody. But I think we're recording the movie next.
That's
So
the that's the plan.
yeah, that's the plan. So I can't wait to do that. And it was a fantastic review, wasn't it,
Oh, I
Doug?
mean, it was great. I mean, I had a ball.
5 stars. Cause and I'm just gonna throw this out there. So next Tuesday, we normally record these on Tuesdays. Periodically we'll do it on a Sunday, like in the middle of a football game or after a football game. But
Oh
uh,
no, we would never do it in the middle of it.
yeah, after a football game. So next week is the election, everybody. So we will not be recording during the election because we're going to be watching as to who's going to be in office or remain in office. So as of right now, everybody else already knows, but
Yeah, that's the spooky part. Because you just said election, and either people went, "Oh, good stuff," or "Oh shit."
yeah. So
Like I
um,
said, like I said last week, it's either bunkers or everybody's fine, and we're still trying to ride out this virus.
yes. So we will.
Hopefully, I'll tell you what. This episode's going out when?
This episode is the third Saturday in January.
Third Saturday in January. So that would be because we're getting close to inauguration if
Yes, we are.
the right guy won.
So this is going out January 16th.
So January 16th. So inauguration. I believe, and I'm ashamed that I don't know this offhand, but I believe inauguration is supposed to be the 18th.
I can find out right now for you. Hold on.
I am.
Inauguration 2021.
2021 United States presidential inauguration will be on Wednesday, January 20th, 2021.
Oh, it's 4 days of you listening to this podcast. Or if you're listening to this podcast a little late, it's already happened. So
Is that how time works?
so well, people like listening to our podcast. They download it. I've done statistics, and this is just me kind of stretching out this podcast a little bit. People listening to this podcast, they either download it on Saturday, they can give two shits on Sunday. Some more would download on Monday, but our sweet spot is every Wednesday we get a shit ton of fucking downloads. I don't get it. I think maybe we just fall into the rotation of other people and their podcasting, but Wednesday is our big day every time that people are listening to our show. So,
Well,
yeah.
so we're either going to be a happy little chunk of your Wednesday, or we're going to be an escape. It's so weird.
You know what? This Wednesday that this is going out, well, the Wednesday after this goes out, we might not get that many downloads because it's inauguration day.
Well, yeah, people are going to find
these numbers.
People are going to watch. People are going to watch to find out if somebody's actually able to put their hand on a Bible, or if somebody throws a fucking fit.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm optimistic that we'll actually know, because I'm not. I told you this before we actually started tonight, and because you said, "Oh, we'll know by the time we go to bed next Tuesday," and I said, "Boy."
Yeah. So we will see.
So it's so weird to talk about it, because it's literally just around the corner for us, but we're right around the corner from an inauguration in actual release time. It's just weird.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, do you have anything else to add, Doug? Because by the time the next podcast comes out, we're gonna either have a new president or the same one's gonna remain in office.
And nothing will have changed.
No.
In fact, it'll probably be worse, because they know, well, fuck, what are they gonna do? I mean, they could. Well, anyway, it's not political, but yeah, it's gonna be weird. So before I give my sign off, I would like to congratulate the Los Angeles Dodgers for winning their first World Series tonight since 1988.
Oh, congrats. Yeah, the game just ended, didn't it?
They defeated the Tampa Bay Rays tonight 3-1 in Game 6, so we don't get a Game 7. So yeah, the MLB bubble for 2020 is complete.
Yes, and so is the NBA. My Lakers won this year.
Yeah, the NBA and NHL are in a weird spot, because I've heard some rumors about them wanting to start up the 2021 or 2021. How they kind of mash 2 years together. I've heard rumors that they want to start their seasons back up again, like before Christmas.
Yeah, it's weird.
So that's right around the corner. Baseball should be fine theoretically to start, to be normal and start in, late March, early April.
I think it's all a matter of what happens with this virus, because I mean, as we sit here on October 27th of 2020, out at least out here in Illinois, we're shut back down.
Yeah, shit's spiking again.
So shit's spiking, and we're being told that it's only going to get worse as the winter comes. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this affects sports again going forward. So, do you have anything else to add, Doug?
Nope.
All right. Well, say goodbye, Doug.
Bye, Doug.
And we will see you all next week with a special guest on Primate Goes Bananas. Have a good night, everybody.